Today. Oh my gosh, how many of you caught President Trump's speech in Iowa last night? Oh man. All right, here we go. Because things are getting real important now. All right, yes. It's Tuesday already. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. That's right. On the radio for 46 years this year, The Steve Kane Show. That's right, in the state of Florida. And man, do we have a lot to talk about today. How many of you saw President Trump's historic speech in Iowa last night? You know, every speech President Trump gives, I say, oh, this is his best speech ever. And that's true. They're all better than the last one because he's talking about what's going on in the country right now. And he was in Iowa, and this is where, things start. And, of course, DeSantis was there on Friday. Trump is there today, or yesterday. And today we're going to talk about Trump last night in Iowa. And it was a very, very important speech. And he said a lot of things. I have two clips from it that I'm going to play. That's it, just two clips. That's okay. You guys can go watch it later. After 9 o'clock, do not go and watch Trump's Iowa speech now, please. Wait till 9. Then you can go and watch it. But I have two clips from it, and then something else that President Trump released yesterday. But this speech really set out what is at stake in the 2024 election. I'm going to play the clip, and then I'll talk about it. But this is President Trump, and he's talking about the 2024 race. This is last night in Iowa.
And 2024 is the final battle. That's it. If you put me back in the White House, the reign of the corrupt Washington establishment will be over again.
Okay. That is the most important line that he said right there in the beginning. Not the part about the deep state, but he says the final battle, right? Do you hear that? I like that.
And 2024 is the final battle.
That's right, the final battle. And what Trump means by that is that's it. This is his last run because of his age, and then he'll be president in his second term. This is the last opportunity to save this country. This idea that we've been free is an illusion. It's a complete illusion. And I think one of the most important things in Trump's first term is that he uncovered what really is going on in this country, that we are slaves to the bureaucracy and the deep state inside Washington, D.C.'s Beltway. That's exactly what's going on. And he is the only one who can break it. That doesn't mean that there are not other people who are going to run that are not good people. We all like DeSantis. DeSantis is angering us a little bit. The next clip I have, and only the other clip, I only have two clips from Trump's speech last night because I pulled out what I thought were the two most important, but the other one, he's talking about Ron DeSantis, which we'll get to in a little bit. But when he says this is the final battle, which is a great song, by the way, that should be his campaign song, he's so right on the money. Who else, other than Donald Trump, no matter how much you like them, male or female, could stand up to the bureaucracy and the deep state? No one. No one. And Trump is very important. He'll have his second term. And when we had Peter Navarro on the show. I had Peter Navarro here on the radio show. He's also on my podcast a couple times. And Dick Morris, all the senior advisors to Trump. This is where they come to talk. And both Dick Morris and Peter Navarro agreed with me that when Trump comes into office for his second and non-consecutive term, which is very historic, only happened once before, that he'll have a mandate. He'll have a mandate to not only finish his agenda from the first term that Paul Ryan and Pelosi stopped him from completing, but everything that is on his new platform this time around, he'll have a mandate. And this is going to be the fastest and busiest first 100 days of any president since FDR, because the New Deal was pushed through during the first 100 days of FDR's presidency, his first term. That's where the big importance around the 100 days comes from the New Deal FDR days. And he'll get this stuff done. He's talking about firing the entire deep state apparatus, and that's what we need, fired. That's got to be done. There's other things he's talking about too, but this is it. So do you want to be free, or do you want to have an illusion of freedom? It's really, do you want to escape the matrix or go back into the matrix? And if anyone, no matter how great they may seem to be and how great they actually might be, like Ron DeSantis is a great governor, did great things. We like DeSantis. He's upsetting us now, but come on. But can Ron DeSantis stand up to the bureaucracy? And the deep state? Can anyone other than Donald Trump? And I would say no. So this is it. It's Trump's final battle, and this is the last big move that MAGA is going to make with him. And then after his second term, he'll, of course, endorse his successor, who will be the second MAGA president. And whoever that is, Ron DeSantis, who else? It's a long time away. Ron DeSantis is kind of the favorite for 2028. That's a person who will come into as the second MAGA president with President Trump having accomplished everything on his platform, everything on his agenda from both terms, and it'll be much easier for them to continue the MAGA agenda. Anyone else who's a Republican other than Trump, if they were to become president in 2024, would not be able to do it. So the big question is, do you want to be free or not? Are you with Trump or not? Are you with Trump in his final battle that he's talking about? I am, aren't you? Now we're going to take our first break of the day. When we come back, there's a lot to get into today. I do want to take your calls, your thoughts on the Iowa speech of Trump and what he said about being his final battle. That's the first time I've heard him talk that way. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're calling from. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Oh, man. Hey, everyone. Make sure you like the video. And if you're new, subscribe. This is the most pro-Donald Trump MAGA channel on all of YouTube. And if you're new, I broadcast live in the morning on 6 radio stations, and I live stream here on YouTube while I'm on the radio. I'm just reading through this article. I'm going to go through this in Political. It's left-wing. And they take a lot of jabs at Trump, but they say a lot of good things to open up some discussion that I want to get into. So I'm going to go through this Trump-hating Politico article.
Is offering the My Pillow, the pillow that started it all. Regular price $49.98, just $19.98 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout. I've tried every pillow too, the foam pillow, bamboo pillow, and a bunch more. None of them worked until my first night's sleep with the My Pillow. That patented fill inside adjusts to your exact individual needs. It keeps your neck aligned, holds it in shape all night long, no matter your sleep position. So you get the best night's sleep with no tossing and no turning. So you wake up in the morning refreshed and ready to go. Now this is the lowest price that Mike Lindell's offered the My Pillow for. It's just $19.98 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout at mypillow.com. You can also order over the phone, 1-800-716-4879.
I'm just reading through a couple articles.
4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Order your My Pillow and get the best night's sleep just like I do every night. Attention wine lovers and travel enthusiasts. Join the luxurious Douro River Cruise in Portugal from August 23rd through September 2nd. This trip offers a unique and intimate experience. You'll enjoy the best of Portugal, from the stunning city of Lisbon to the world-renowned port wine region of Porto. This luxury riverboat provides exceptional service and top-of-the-line cuisine. You indulge in
I'm going to go over the Anne Marie's dessert menu a little bit.
this once-in-a-lifetime trip. Visit brianportugal.com and request a brochure.
test. Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now at Coral Springs, on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you're looking for the best seafood in town, you have to try Chowderheads. You'll love it.
Give me a yes or no. Are you with Trump or not? Yes or no?
Their award-winning lobster
Are you with Trump or not? Yes or no?
absolutely delicious. Come taste it for yourself. You will want to keep coming back for more at Chowderheads, located in the Driftwood Plaza on South US Highway 1 in Jupiter.
That's right.
Open 7 days a week. For reservations
That's right.
to go, call 561-203-2903 or check out their menu at chowderheadsusa.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, and I made a big mistake. It's going to be a rough show, guys. It's going to be a rough show. I made the mistake of reading over the Anne Marie's dessert menu during the break, and I'm already getting hungry. You know, Anne Marie's, with all this great homemade Italian food, we talk about all their great meals they have over there, their lunch specials with huge portions and low prices. We talk about the grandma's recipes or what they use for everything. Everything's homemade. We talk about the great Italian favorites, but we don't talk about the desserts too much. And the desserts are out of this world, and I'll just go over a couple of them that I've had that I love a lot. Now, of course, the cannolis. Oh, my goodness. You know, I talk a lot about how these other restaurants all over town, they get their food at BJ's and Costco. That goes for the desserts too, guys, but not at Anne Marie's. Like everything else, homemade. And the cannolis are delicious. Classic Italian cookie shells stuffed with sweet ricotta chocolate chip or homemade pistachio ricotta filling. And I love those cannolis. Oh, man. Here's another one I've had that is really just spectacular. Grandma's recipes even make it to the dessert menu. Grandma's Cookie Cup. 1 dozen homemade chocolate chip cookies and a giant scoop of vanilla ice cream. Oh, man. Their tiramisu is out of this world. And their strawberry Nutella pizza. Have any of you guys had that yet? I've had it. It'll blow your mind. The strawberry Nutella pizza. I'm reading from the dessert menu at Anne Marie's. It's a mix of Nutella, fresh strawberries, and powdered sugar baked into fluffy pizza dough. And like the Italian favorites, homemade, guys. Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Okay, so President Trump had this just incredible speech in Iowa last night, and it was a really super cool speech. And he says, "This is it. This is the final battle. This is it." And he's right. I mean, they're all over him. And I'm reading through this article in Trump-hating left-wing Politico about it. And I'm going to go through the article because they bring up some things that we can talk about as we go on this. But Davenport, Iowa, Politico, remember, now, they hate Trump and they're liberals, so the word choice and sentence structure, these are not, you know, but I want to talk about some of the things they bring up. This is Politico. After Trump lost the 2016 Iowa Republican caucus, Donald Trump delivered a speech in which he pledged his love for the state of Iowa and suggested he might even buy a farm there. And I remember that Iowa caucus. I couldn't believe how that operates. I've heard about the Iowa caucus my whole life, and it wasn't until 2016 that I actually saw it at work because they carried it live on TV. And the Iowa caucus is really run like a high school student government election. They write names on a piece of paper and put them in a basket, and some guy counts them. It's very strange. On Monday, Trump returned not to visit a farm he didn't end up purchasing, but to try to win over the critical voters who he hopes will send him on his way back to the White House. You know, this thing about buying, this is the thing with these Trump haters. He didn't say he was going to buy a farm. He was being sarcastic. He was joking. They have no sense of humor. They just hate Trump so much they can't even get the jokes. They take every word he says literally because they're so consumed with hate. Trump spent the evening in the eastern part of Iowa which traditionally hosts the GOP's first-in-the-nation caucuses. After a stop at a restaurant where he snapped photos with customers, he talked up his prospects of winning the state that eluded him 7 years ago. He was in a notably good mood, with little indication that the legal troubles surrounding him were causing any stress. You know, this legal thing they're talking about is Stormy Daniels. Now, this is what I don't understand, okay, about this thing with Stormy Daniels. The story with Stormy Daniels is that she went to Michael Cohen and did a shakedown, an extortion run on Trump through Michael Cohen. Pay me or I'll go public. So why are they going after Trump? When you're the victim of extortion, are you charged with the crime? When someone tries to blackmail you, right, and you pay them, have you committed a crime? I don't understand this. I was under the impression that the person doing the blackmailing was the criminal, right? Isn't that how it used to work? So this is bizarre. Indeed, Trump was feisty at times. This is Politico, Trump hating Politico. Indeed, he was feisty at times, going after his leading political opponent, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, right, who he says is a disciple of Paul Ryan and a rhino loser. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit because he said some interesting things. But I want to ask you guys this. When someone comes to you and runs an extortion game, right, and is blackmailing you, if you don't pay me money, I'm going to go to the media and tell lies about you, and you pay them, have you committed a crime? Isn't the person doing the blackmailing doing the crime? Isn't Stormy Daniels the criminal here? Why are they going after Donald Trump? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You're right. This whole case with Trump doesn't make sense because he was the one that was being extorted, right? You're a victim, like you say, you're a victim of a crime.
He's a crime victim. He's a crime victim. I just don't get that.
It's just like Stormy Daniels was a victim because didn't Cohen take money from her?
Oh, her Avenatti was the creepy porn lawyer. Yeah, he got in trouble. He's in jail. Yeah. I just don't understand this because I was always under the impression that when you're being blackmailed, even if you pay, that's like saying, there's a kidnapping, and you pay a kidnapper. Are you the criminal, or is the kidnapper the criminal? I've never heard of someone who's being blackmailed facing any type of legal trouble. It's the extortionist that I don't know. I feel like I'm living in another universe sometimes.
Right, and that's the thing now. As far as what Politico said about DeSantis being the leading opponent, well, the problem for them is this: don't the polls show, Trump being ahead of him more than double digits?
Oh yeah, big double digits.
So wait, if he's the main guy, then and he's behind double digits, well, what does that say?
Exactly. It's hopeless for him. It's hopeless for DeSantis.
Yeah, it's just like anybody else.
And by the way, I want to tell you this. Donald Trump did not have sex with Stormy Daniels, okay? But what is she accusing him of? She's accusing him of consensual sex. He didn't have sex with her, but he's being accused of a consensual sexual encounter. You got Biden here. A woman says that she was sexually assaulted and penetrated by him. I mean, I don't understand. Since when do guys get accused of consensual sex? That's a crime. Consensual sex is a crime. Paying an extortionist is a crime now. I mean, what's going on here?
I mean, crazy.
I'm accusing you of consensual sex. What? I know it sounds stupid when you say it that way, Mike. Thanks for the call. Doesn't it sound stupid? But that's what they're accusing him of. Hey, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. This is the Steve Kane Show. Hey, Google, play True Oldies FLA. That's right. That's right. Alexa, play True Oldies FLA. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Making morning radio great again.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that, he's being accused of having consensual sex with a woman. What? How do you accuse somebody of that? I don't, these are bizarre, strange people. Tell me yes or no. Do you think Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels? He did. First off, he said he didn't. And we know he didn't. All her years of bugging President Trump, has she ever given a description of the private parts of his body, which she would do, and she's never done it? That's right. No. First off, he has had access to beautiful women his entire life, and you think he's going to be with somebody who's a porn actress? He's a germaphobe. Give me a break. I never believed it. Never believed it. Now, what do you guys think, though, about this, that he somehow did something wrong? He's being blackmailed and paying off an extortionist. You're the criminal? Isn't the extortionist the one that's a criminal? I mean, why isn't these people in jail? I don't understand. Now, listen, guys. If you've not done it, you should do it already. I put the link in the pinned in the chat room. If you're not watching live, it's in the description of the video. Go to mypillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and pick up that new MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper 2.0. It's got that cooling technology that the new MyPillows have, and my wife's ordering ours today. She forgot to order it over the weekend. But she's ordering it today. And with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com, the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with the cooling technology, so your body's never warm or hot again in bed, is 40% off, and you get free shipping. So free shipping and 40% off when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Now, you can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, but that's a good one, and it'll change your life. Yeah, I've never heard of promo code Kane, Kane. I've never heard of a victim in an extortion racket being the bad guy. Never, ever, ever, ever. This is a new thing that they're doing. Let me check something here. All right, where are we? All right. The new thing that they're doing. All right, where are we? All right, there we go. No, he didn't have sex with her. Give me a break. She's got a photograph with him. That's what celebrities do. They take photographs with people all the time. I meet listeners. They take pictures with me all the time when I'm out and about. It doesn't mean I've had sex with them. That's crazy. It's crazy. She's made a whole career out of this thing with Trump. Give me a break. No, not by Trump standards. No, he never admitted it. Never admitted it. Be coming back shortly. Make sure you guys all like the video. And if you're new, subscribe. No, she's not his type. If you didn't catch it already, check out my podcast from last night. Catherine had a great podcast. If on YouTube, it's the video before this, but my podcast is on all podcast platforms. But it's the video right before this one. We had a great podcast last night. I got a sneeze coming on. The air popped on. Oh, goodness. Here we go. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. We're talking about this incredible speech of President Trump's in Iowa last night. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
Good, good. Is this Wisconsin, Gary? Yes, sir, it is. Hey, how you been? Long time no talk.
Yeah, busy on the road as always. Just trying to get through this worst economy that we've had in probably a record to beat.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you were getting on to saying about with Trump and everything else, you know, people got to look at the real hard facts right now because there's word about banks closing down and things of that nature. And this is where we got to get really strong in 2024 November and make sure that everything goes smoothly according to the way elections should be.
Yeah. No doubt about it. You know, and we're in the early days of what I hope will not turn into a major financial crisis. And the people that are running the American economy, they've never had jobs. They're all college professors. They don't know what they're doing or talking about. They're all like Mayor Pete. And we're going to be in big trouble if there really is a crisis coming.
Yeah, because, I mean, unfortunately, with these almost 4 years that we've been having, literally, we've been drained out of money. Our money is going across seas for some things that shouldn't be happening. And it's financially draining us. Mm-hmm. Everybody is suffering it one way or the other. Everybody in the trucking company, and whether it's company or owner-operators, they're suffering the brink of it. You guys that are basically at home, paying that prices at the market or wherever else you're getting, the high cost inflation of everything, we really got to take our country back.
Well, and you know, things are this banking trouble. I'm kind of reluctant to talk about it because I don't want to be a part of causing panic. You know, I don't want to be a cause of causing panic. You know, and I don't want to just get people. You know, I'm not a banker. Okay, and I'm not an expert in such things, and either are 99.9% of the people on television talking about this. But I don't want to start. I was talking about it at the top of yesterday's show, and then afterwards I was like, I don't know. I don't want to cause a panic and people start going to the banks and withdrawing their money and everything. I don't think we're there yet. I hope not.
Well, the only thing that I can really say is that when it comes up to November, everybody, and everybody in the listening audience, just keep in mind what Trump did was in there for 4 years, all of his great accomplishments. He's got things there that the left doesn't want to post on there. But then again, though, too, there are people in D.C. there that shouldn't even be there anymore because basically they are establishment. So either way, if it's the left or right, you know, those people got to be going out, and I believe new people should step up, become, you know, go into Washington, serve your country, you know, make things right the way it should be, reverse some of these ridiculous laws that they have, you know, and make it back, we the people, to make our country great and worry about everything else later.
Well, you know, when you think about Trump's first term, and I'll throw this out to you guys, how many of you would agree that the 4 years of Trump's first term was economically, and pretty much everything else too, was the best time in this country in your lifetime? Even with the COVID, it was a great economic period. I mean, think about it. We had the economy of the planet Earth was shut down for the last year of Trump's first term, and still he kept the economy booming. That's amazing. That's like a miracle.
A lot of the regulations that he lifted, because I mean, if you looked at the time when he was in there and they showed the amount of paperwork to lift restrictions, if Trump gets back in there, I would say a very strong prediction that within 2 years we'll be back flourishing as a great nation once again.
Oh yeah. Hey, Wisconsin Gary, don't be a stranger. Good to hear from you.
Good to you, Brian. Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, so I'm talking about Trump's speech in Iowa last night, which was spectacular. And I'm reading this article in left-wing Politico, and these never-Trumper Republican establishment people are hard at work, guys. Let me read through this. I'm going back to left-wing Politico's story on the Iowa visit by President Trump yesterday. The trip began with the former president climbing aboard his personal plane, dubbed by aides as Trump Force One, complete with gold seats and a sound system that blares oldies. Oh, maybe they got us on. I don't know. And Phantom of the Opera. And he had a lot of good people on there. Not everyone in Iowa has been eager for a Trump revival, Politico writes. Some of the state's influential evangelical voting bloc has been cool to the thrice-married Trump's bid. Bob Vander Pleets, a longtime evangelical figure in the state who endorsed Cruz over Trump in 2016, has urged Trump not to enter the 2024 race. Okay, see, this is why I share this, okay? The reason I'm reading this left-wing article out of Politico, a lot of the rats are being smoked out by Politico. A lot of these fake Republican rhinos are being smoked out. So they quote an evangelical leader. He's been married 3 times. Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. Donald Trump has saved millions of unborn children's lives from now and forever in this country. And anyone who's an evangelical leader who says that he was married 3 times. I love these multi-millionaire evangelical men of God, right? They're, you know, these Joel Osteen types. Their congregation is suffering, but you gotta keep giving them 10% every week of what you make. And they're living in mansions and fly on private jets. But Trump's a hypocrite. You know, overturning Roe v. Wade was part of the Republican Party platform for literally decades. And no one made a move to actually make it happen. And then look. It happened because of Trump. It's amazing. Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. There are, That was a pro-life victory no one was ready for. And if you see an evangelical leader come out and say they don't support Trump, look hard at that person, all right? Look hard at that person and see who they're in bed with. When you do, the name is probably Bush that they're in bed with or a connection of it. So this evangelical leader in Iowa, he's been married 3 times. Okay. Yeah. What other, I mean, you know, evangelical leaders, did any of you think, prior to Trump coming down the escalator, that Roe v. Wade would be overturned? I never thought it was possible. No one thought it was possible. And Trump did it. Trump has been making early moves in Iowa. That's right. And he's trying to do better than he did last time. He lost to Ted Cruz. We don't want that to happen again. But who knows? You know, they vote on little pieces of paper. They write down a name and put it in a basket. So, I mean, you know, anything could happen in the Iowa caucus. Trump's campaign is regarded as more experienced and better prepared than in 2016. Well, that is true. The current race is competitive, they write. A poll released by the Des Moines Register last week showed Trump and DeSantis with similar favorability numbers, with 80% expressing a favorable view of Trump, 75% expressing a favorable view for DeSantis. Well, isn't that an interesting little poll bit of data they gave us? Favorable rating. What about the question of who would you vote for? Who would you vote for? They didn't share that with us from the Des Moines Register. I don't know what those numbers are, but Trump must be way ahead. I like a lot of people. Doesn't mean I'm going to vote for them. The only question you among the Iowa Republicans you're interested in is, who are you going to vote for, Trump or DeSantis? And I'm guessing Trump has a double-digit lead in Iowa, too, among Republicans, or they would have shared it with us, as opposed to a favorability rating. Do you like DeSantis? Do you like Trump? You can like both of them. What does that even mean? I've never heard that being released as the major data point from any poll in a primary state. That tells us Trump is way ahead of DeSantis, even in Iowa. That's a great, great thing. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first half. You're on hold, stand by. Talking about Trump's historic speech in Iowa last night, which was a beautiful speech and a great speech, and I loved it, and I know you guys that saw it did too. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take that break and be back right after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
I'm going to see if I can find that poll. Let's see. What poll was it? The Des Moines Register poll. Let's see if I can find that poll. I'm looking for the raw poll, and I'm not able to find it. Shocker.
Scott here from CutMyKilowatts.com. We are an energy saving and installation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $4,000.
I'm looking for the who would you vote for, and I'm not able to find that. All I can find is this favorability rating. These people. I cannot find the who would you vote for result in that poll. If anybody can, they keep going over the favorability rating. All right, so I am looking for this Des Moines poll to find out the question of who are you going to vote for, Trump or DeSantis. I can't find that question. Not even sure if they asked it because they probably don't want the answer. And I'm reading the article in the Des Moines Register. And listen to this. Now, this poll is being cited. Trump's ahead even among favorability ratings, but they're not giving us the answer, who would you vote for, Trump or DeSantis? Just, do you like Trump? Do you like DeSantis? Hey, come on. But listen to who they polled. And this Des Moines, Iowa Register poll is being cited in every news story today because DeSantis went on Friday there to Iowa and then Trump last night. They polled 805 Iowans. 805, right? So they're judging the entire country based on 805 people in Iowa. And, you know, these early states, New Hampshire and Iowa, right, they're very full of themselves when they get polled. But listen to this. So Trump's ahead among favorability. They're not showing us the who would you vote for, right? The Des Moines Register polled 805 Iowans, including 257 Republicans. Really? So they polled 805 people in Iowa about the two Republicans, Trump and DeSantis, and only 257 of them are Republicans? So that means 563 of them are not Republicans? That means they're Democrats or socialists? What does that mean? And even in a poll, I mean, and I don't even know how to put, if someone figure out the percentage, even in a poll that is overweighted bigly, as Trump would say, with Democrats, they polled 805, only 257 of them are Republicans, and the majority of them like Trump more than anybody else that's running. What kind of poll is that? And I had to search pretty hard to find that. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. These people, you really have to read the left-wing media and the mainstream media to see this propaganda that they put out there. That is pretty sick and twisted. You want to talk about, that's worse than fake news. That's just hardcore propaganda right there. Now, I want to tell you guys, Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow, he's done it again. He's taken one of his inventions that I thought was total perfection, and he actually improved upon it. You know, Mike Lindell, I call him the Thomas Edison of sleep. He's reinvented sleep. You know, I sleep like I never have in my life thanks to Mike Lindell. Now, for 2 years next month, I've had the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, and it has changed my life. But like with the MyPillow, we came out a few weeks back with the MyPillow 2.0 with the cooling technology. He has now released the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 that has that cooling technology so that your body doesn't get hot, it doesn't get warm, and it's always the perfect temperature. And by the way, with the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, you will wake up, your body will never be stiff. You'll wake up feeling great and ready to move. It's true. And that cooling technology, I can't wait. My wife is ordering ours today. And this is very exciting. I can't wait to get it. Our 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper changed our life. And now, with the 2.0 version, with the cooling technology, when I've seen how great the pillows are with the cooling technology, I can't wait. And my wife's been telling me that this cooling technology of Mike Lindell is perfect for those women who are going through menopause. They have those night sweats, hot at night. Yeah, that's right. Or maybe you're just sleeping next to someone that's hot. Women, men, maybe your significant other is hot. I don't mean in a Melania way. I mean like, the body heat. And this MyPillow 2.0 and now the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 will keep you the perfect temperature and cool all night long so you get even a better sleep. Now, when you go to MyPillow.com and order the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper 2.0 with the cooling technology, and you use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, it's 40% off and free shipping. That's right, 40% off and free shipping, but you've got to use our promo code KANE at checkout at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, so they oversampled Democrats by a large number in this poll, and Trump is even ahead in that one in Iowa. That's the story. Even among Democrats, Trump is in the lead in Iowa. And look at how they're trying to manipulate us. The press think we are stupid, right? They oversample Democrat. They poll 805 people. Only 257 of them are Republican. The rest are not Republican. And they don't even ask who would you vote for. They ask if you like them. So when the majority of Democrats in this poll like Trump, that's amazing. That's the story, but that's not the story that's in the news, right? I thought everybody hated Trump. They wanted to tell us in the media. Well, apparently in Iowa, not only do they love Trump, but even Democrats love Trump in Iowa. Back to Politico. I'm glad I found this article because Politico doesn't mean to do this, but they're exposing a lot of their nonsense. Speaking to reporters, upon his arrival, Trump expressed confidence in the prospect in Iowa and remarked that he won Iowa in 2016 and 2020. He expressed optimism that he would have the support of the state's Republican governor, Kim Reynolds, given that he endorsed her previously. Those close to the governor of Iowa said she remains uncommitted. In recent days, she has appeared with Scott, Haley, and DeSantis. Was she there last night? And is she going to be with Pence? Pence is around Iowa running his con game. After leaving the airport, Trump headed to the Machine Shed restaurant in Davenport, Iowa, where he posed for pictures with customers and asked them how the food was. They're right about that, Trump said as he posed for photos with a group of supporters wearing Trump T-shirts. And it goes on and on. David Kochel, a prominent Iowa-based GOP strategist and Trump critic, says Trump is in a position where he absolutely should win Iowa, given that he is a former president and starts with a ton of key contacts and a big base of support. But it's not a sure thing. Really, even Democrats like him in Iowa. That's astounding. What's their favorability rating of Pence, of Nikki Haley? There does appear to be a lot of folks in Iowa who are keeping their options open, looking to see who's going to join the field. Are you kidding me? And I want to throw this out to you guys. In this race, that's, because we're getting all these names in Iowa, right? We got Trump, DeSantis, Pence, Haley, Scott. Who did I leave out that they're using in Iowa these days? Out of all of the names you're hearing, other than Trump, can you honestly say any of them are credible candidates who not only could win the general election in 2024, but take on the establishment, the Republican establishment, the fake news media, and the bureaucracy? I don't think so. People are keeping their options open. There are no other options other than Trump, all right? But, they're doing everything they can, and I'm glad they have so many people. Let's add more people to the Iowa caucus. Let's have more Republicans in there. Because what they're doing, and, these Trump haters are so consumed with Trump derangement syndrome, they don't realize how stupid they are, okay? The more candidates they have running against Trump in Iowa, and this is not mentioned in any of these articles because all the reporters are consumed with Trump derangement syndrome and can't see reality. The more Republicans they have run against Trump in Iowa or any other primary state, the better. That helps Trump because what they do is they split the never-Trumper vote. They're going to split it between DeSantis and Haley and whoever else they got. I can't imagine anyone vote. Even a Trump hater might have a hard time voting for Pence. But they're splitting the never-Trumper vote. And the MAGA people, the Trump people, on top of the fact that with this banking collapse business that's going on in this country, and a lot of people are saying crazy things about what this means in the immediate future for the economy, Trump is an economist. Went to the great business school. He's a self-made billionaire. I know quite a few millionaires. You guys probably do too. How many billionaires do you know? That's a big deal. He's a leading economist, not some college professor who's never made a payroll or never had a job. And that's what people are going to want in 2024, an economist, not someone that's worked for the government their whole life, like Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis. You need someone who's actually worked out there and run some successful businesses as we face a pretty serious economic problem in this country coming up. And it's going to come up, and it's going to come quicker than we think. All right, our number is toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call no matter where you're listening to us, 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Never Trump or troll time. That's okay. Hey, listen, it's time for a break anyway. If you're on hold, stand by. We will get back to our very, very busy phones after the break. And I got to tell you this. You all know that in Florida, real estate is hot. People are listing their house. They want to sell their house because this is like winning the Florida lottery. Housing prices are so high right now. Even if you have a small house that's not in the greatest of neighborhoods, that's like a Fantasy 5 win, isn't it? It sure is. And when you list your house, what's your primary goal? Not just to sell it, but get top dollar. And if you want to get top dollar when you're listing and selling your home, you want to call Elena Castro. She was introduced to Steve and myself by Tom Laporta, who will never sell you a roof you do not need from Laporta Contracting. So you know his recommendation of Elena Castro it says a lot about her, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Now, Elena Castro, she'll walk you through this when you call her. She has a way to get you top dollar by getting you multiple offers on your home. When there's multiple offers, you got competition. That's how you get asking price or above. She covers the entire area, too, from the Treasure Coast through the Palm Beaches, Broward, and Dade. All right? So from Miami through the Treasure Coast, give Elena Castro a call. This number rings directly to her cell phone, 954-478-5015. 954-478-5015. That's 954-478-5015. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach patio.
I mean, guys, that poll that they're running, 805 people, over 500 of them are not Republican that they poll, and Trump's still in the lead in Iowa. That's insane. That's amazing. I mean, that's shocking. I like how they say Trump's barely in the lead. Well, they're polling Democrats, and he's still in the lead. What poll has not had him in the lead, right? You know, I'm not a big follower of polls, but one thing about polls that I do follow is the trend. And the trend is Trump is ahead. He's way ahead. If he is ahead of DeSantis when they're polling mostly Trump haters, thanks, Bruce, appreciate it. If they were just polling Republicans, where would he be, right? That's what they got to do to try to bring his numbers down, is poll Democrats who aren't going to vote Republican anyway. People are sick. These people, they think we're so stupid. Well, thank you, Deborah. But, you know, you got to follow the mainstream media to find out how they're operating. It's beautiful. They expose themselves all of the time. Ugh. Make sure you guys like the video, all right? If you've not already, please like the video. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. This is, as Bruce said, where MAGA comes to talk. Ugh. I've got such a busy week. The last 3 days are just a blur. I've been so busy, I can't even remember the last 3 days. Well, thank you, Rome. It was good to hear from Wisconsin Gary. Hasn't called in a while. This time change still has me off. Here, at the radio station, we're in this office building, and people, and I have the window open. I look out the window, and why would you like to forget yesterday? What happened? And I look outside, and the same people come to work at the same time. This guy just pulled up in his truck, comes to work at 7 o'clock every morning, and it's pitch black, like the middle of the night. I hate this time change. I like it lighter earlier. I'm a morning guy. Don't like it. Yeah, I'm sitting today, which I don't normally do. I've been on my feet so much, my feet are a little sore. So I thought I'd sit today a little bit, which I probably shouldn't do, but I'm doing it. I don't broadcast sitting too often, so when I'm sitting, it throws me off a little bit. I'm like a dog. I got a routine. We sure would be lost without truckers. Do kids still do the thing to get the truckers to honk the horn? When I was a kid, truckers, there was like a whole thing about truckers, right? We had Convoy, Moving On, and all that stuff. So truckers, BJ and the Bear, so there was this big thing about truckers, when I was a kid growing up. So all the kids would do this to honk the horn. I had a Moving On toy CB that was actually worked. Little kid, I could talk to truckers from my room. I was like 7, 8, 9. Do people use CBs anymore other than like truck drivers? Do people use CBs? I haven't seen a CB connected to a private vehicle in so long. I mean, if you had a CB, would there be anyone to talk to? I don't know. Yep, Citizens Ban. All right, let me get the audio queued up. All right, welcome back. Coming up on 6 minutes after the hour, it is Tuesday morning, March 14th already. Oh, my goodness. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. All right, so I'm talking about Trump's incredible speech in Iowa yesterday, which really was amazing. It was a great speech, and I've got 2 clips from it, and then Trump released a video yesterday. So the first clip I'll play again, I played this in the first hour, and this is very important stuff. This is Trump last night in Iowa. Oh, hold on, got to turn it up. Here we go. Trump last night in Iowa.
And 2024 is the final battle. That's it. If you put me back in the White House, the reign of the corrupt Washington establishment will be over again.
You hear that? It's the final battle, Trump versus the establishment. And that's true. I mean, that's how important this election is with Donald Trump. He is the only one who could take on the establishment, take on the bureaucracy, take on the deep state, right? The only one. No one else would even attempt it. And he's the only one who's not only going to attempt it, but do it and can do it. Now, this is the second clip. This one is, I only have 2 clips from his Iowa speech last night. This is the second one. He's talking about Ron DeSantis here, and he went after Ron DeSantis pretty hard. Oh, by the way, if you're just tuning in, we uncovered during a live on-air investigation in the first hour of the program today, this poll that they're running from the Des Moines Register, that all over the media today, that Trump barely is ahead of DeSantis in Iowa. They didn't ask them who they're going to vote for. They're asking if you like Trump, if you like DeSantis. But Trump's in the lead. They polled 804 Iowans. That's hard to say. They polled 805 Iowa residents, right? Only 250 of them were Republicans. 257 were Republicans. The rest, Democrats, communist, socialist. But only 257 Republicans out of 805 polled. And Trump's still ahead in that poll, which is overweighted Democrats by how many? What percentage? Come on. And they couldn't even manipulate a poll to show anyone but Trump in the lead. All right, so here's the second. This is Trump talking about DeSantis. This is last night in Iowa.
Well, and you fought it all the way, and he also fought against Social Security. He wanted to decimate it and voted against it 3 times. Voted against Social Security. That's a bad one. A lot of people don't know that. But
okay, see now what he's doing here, this is an interesting thing. And Dick Morris is the one who started talking about this. Ron DeSantis, for a few minutes, was in the House of Representatives. And he's got a voting record. And what Trump is telling you is, and this is the first time we've heard Trump talk about this, that Ron DeSantis' voting record doesn't match up with what he's done as governor, that when he's in that Washington swamp, he's someone else.
ethanol, and you fought it all the way. And he also fought against Social Security. He wanted to decimate it and voted against it 3 times. Voted against Social Security. That's a bad one. A lot of people don't know that, but I think they've been finding out over the last 4 weeks. One of the reasons that we're zooming in the polls, perhaps. Maybe that's one, maybe it's other things too. It's really based on what we've done, I think. And on Social Security, well, we're at it. He wanted the minimum retirement age to be lifted to people that are 70 years old, a substantial increase over what it is right now. That's a big increase. And he also voted to...
Okay, now that's a big one. Like, for example, me, to get my full benefits on Social Security, I think I'm going to have to be 70. Is it 67 or 70? I haven't seen it in years, but 70. So people my age, where you'll get your full benefit at 70, he's saying that when Ron DeSantis was in Congress, he wanted to raise that. Well, people don't like that. You know, that's your money that they take away from you your entire working life, and people want to get it back. In this voting record he's going through of DeSantis, it's not a good one.
And on Social Security, well, we're at it. He wanted the minimum retirement age to be lifted to people that are 70 years old, a substantial increase over what it is right now. That's a big increase. And he also voted to severely cut Medicare. I will not be cutting Medicare, and I will not be cutting Social Security. We're leaving the age limit. But you have to remember, Ron was a disciple of Paul Ryan, who is a rhino loser who currently is destroying Fox and would constantly vote against entitlements. You would just vote against, remember that, the wheelchair over the cliffs, the Democrats used it. The wheelchair over the cliff commercial, very effective. That was about him. But Paul Ryan's a big reason that Mitt Romney, I'm not a big fan of Mitt Romney, lost his election. And to be honest with you, Ron reminds me a lot of Mitt Romney. So I don't think you're going to be doing so well here, but we're going to find out. But those are the facts. But I'm proud to say the final number.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so that little bit there of President Trump going through Ron DeSantis' voting record in Congress, I've heard Dick Morris go through this on Newsmax a couple of times, and that's going to resonate with people. You know, there's a lot of negative things that are going on there, right? This voting record in Congress, his associations with Paul Ryan and the Bush family. You know, I still stand by what I said. that Ron DeSantis' announcement is going to be that he's not running. Okay? I don't think he's going to run against Trump. I really don't. I know it looks like he's running now. But when you look at all the information that's coming out, the polls, that clip I played yesterday of the diner in Florida where no one even mentioned DeSantis' name. They told Kill Me they're all voting for Trump. A couple people want Nikki Haley as his vice president. And President Trump has a secret weapon in his back pocket for Iowa that's not mentioned in any of the news stories covering either DeSantis or Trump's visit to Iowa. You know what that is? Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is originally from Iowa. Yeah. And you know what? He hasn't pulled her out to campaign for him there yet. He's saving her so she doesn't get overexposed. A lot of people think he might toy around with the idea of her being his running mate to help with the Iowa caucus. But no, she's an Iowa native, and they know that there. And I promise you, the Republicans in Iowa love Carrie Lake as much as you guys do. And she's Trump's trump card. When she goes to Iowa and starts campaigning, even though he's already in the lead, he'll even be further in the lead. So this is, I know. Now listen, we're going to take our first break of the second hour. There is more to share when we get back. If you'd like to call in, please do. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Call us on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones when we get back. 1-888-465-2631. I know this time change. It is. I'm looking outside. It looks like it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's so dark outside. It's ridiculous. What time's the sun coming up now? 12? I hate it. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Hi, it's Steve DeSmith from Will Floor You. For the entire month of March, we are celebrating our 30-year anniversary, featuring our entire stock selection of luxury vinyl flooring from Shaw and Cortec. This remarkable flooring fits our Florida lifestyle to a T, meeting in innovative patterns that replicate real wood. Shaw and Cortec will spruce up your home and for sure the easiest floor to maintain. Here at Will Floor You, we have many patterns and colorways to choose from, all in stock and all on sale. Hey, pick a traditional wood like oak and maple, or a classy European wide and lawn pine, for the cozy wash beach visual, marked down to as low as $244 a square foot. That's a 30% savings. Come into our stores in Jupiter and Stewart and see for yourself that you'll be floored at the great values. These are all on hand for quick pickup for the do-it-yourselfer, or have our professional installation teams do it for you, usually within a few days. We're family owned and operated for over 30 years. Will Floor You is your hometown floor store that has it all. Visit us online at willfloor.com.
Welcome. If you've not already done it, like the video, guys. That helps a lot. When you guys like the video, it spreads the word about this channel. I'm looking. I got this last clip of Trump. Oh, here it is. All right. The last clip of Trump. What I'm going to play when we get back is the he released a video on Truth yesterday about Florida and DeSantis. Yeah, this is just awful. I mean, my goodness. Here it is. It's 7:16 and it's completely black outside. It's just like in the middle of the night. It might as well be 11 o'clock at night, midnight. Well, I was just getting ready to do that commercial. I'll have to do another commercial. Well, it depends. You know, people like whatever their schedule is. I'm a morning person, so I like it lighter earlier. A lot of people are night people, so they like it lighter later. Anyone who wants it lighter later doesn't get up early in the morning. I do too. I like it bright and sunny. Every month it'll get lighter a little earlier. But this sucks. Of course, there's a gold report every day.
1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. One and all, 17 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I want to talk about Forever Youth. You know, any lab test now of Boca, any lab test now of Coral Springs have been with us here supporting the Steve Kane Show for quite some time. And they've expanded right next door to any lab test now of Boca in the Sandalwood Plaza where the Western Beef is, on the east side of Full 41, State Road 7, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough. They've expanded into Forever Youth, and they have all these great beautification things to make you look younger, right? Hair removal, Botox, Juvederm, all those fillers. And what they have that is just amazing to me, this is like, I can't even believe this technology exists, but it does. It's the Cool Sculpting Elite. The Cool Sculpting Elite's amazing. It does everything liposuction does without an invasive, violent surgical procedure. It freezes your fat away. And then they sculpt your body so that it's in the shape that you want it to look at. It's amazing. And the Cool Sculpting Elite works on any area of your body where there is fat. Your stomach, of course, the love handles, your back, your legs, your neck. You got the double chin or the Mitch McConnell neck thing going on. It works there. If you've got fat, the Cool Sculpting Elite works. It's amazing. One of his daughters had this done. That's how we found out about it. But at Forever Youth, next to any lab test now with Boca, they have an incredible special going on in the month of March. Now, they have a bunch of specials going on involving their laser hair removal and all of their fillers and everything. But the big one they have going on is with the Cool Sculpting Elite. You can have, if you have fat, you have it in more than one place, I'm imagining, right? You can have 8 areas of your body treated with the Cool Sculpting Elite for the price of 4. You get 8 areas of fat treated on your body for the price of 4. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it? It sure is. And that is running for the month of March. Give them a call, 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. That's 561-717-8081. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio to take advantage of that deal. All right, so we're talking about Trump's incredible and historic speech in Iowa. And I've got one last audio soundbite of President Trump I want to play. This was not in the speech. He released, President Trump, a video on Truth Social yesterday taking a direct jab at Ron DeSantis. So let me play this for you. And this is Donald Trump. This is an ad on Truth Social that he posted.
Those of you that didn't notice, Florida was doing great long before Ron DeSantis got there. People are fleeing from New York to Florida and other places because of high taxes and out of control crime. It's really bad. Not because of the governor, thank you, Mr. President, for doing that, but it's not because of the governor.
Okay, now that means making him governor. You know, Ron DeSantis was losing the primary until Trump came in and endorsed him, so that's what that's a reference to.
Out of control crime, it's really bad. Not because of the governor, thank you, Mr. President, for doing that, but it's not because of the governor. Florida was doing fantastically. You had a governor named Rick Scott who did a very good job. Even Charlie Crist, the Democrat, did a good job, and he had very good numbers. Sunshine and ocean are very alluring. It's not too hard to work with those factors. So just remember, Florida was doing really well long before Ron DeSantis got there.
Okay. Yeah, that's, you know, I'm really looking forward to Governor DeSantis coming out and announcing he's not running, because it really pains me to have to go over these negative things involving Charlie Crist every day right now. But that's what's in the news. And I know some people out there are getting upset with me about this. I'm not, this is what's in the news. What am I supposed to do? Cover up the news, be like CNN and Fox, and not share with you what's going on? Now, he is right. Things in Florida have been going well for a long time. But in the media, they're saying, oh, wait a minute, he's complimenting Charlie Crist. Wait a minute, he's complimenting a Democrat. He said things were well in Florida when Charlie Crist was governor. He's a Democrat. You know, what these pundits don't know, when Charlie Crist was governor, he was a Republican, right? He was endorsed by Jeb, picked by Jeb, just like, you know, DeSantis is has Jeb behind him now. Charlie Crist was a Republican governor. He switched parties when that was over. So it's a little different thing going on now. He's a Democrat now, but he used to be a Republican. All right, he was always weird, even when he was a Republican with the fan and everything. But they leave that little part out, and it's so interesting watching these pundits because I saw a lot of people talking about this yesterday, online and other places. And always praising. How can he's attacking Ron DeSantis, but he's praising a Democrat? No, he was a Republican then. All right, listen, guys. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1. If you have any comments on Trump's speech in Iowa, you are certainly welcome to share them. There's a lot of coverage about these bank collapses, okay? And I'm going to tell you guys, unless there's like major breaking news on the bank closures, I don't think I'm going to talk about them too much. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? I'm not going to talk about something that would cause anyone to do something involving going to the bank and doing something. Okay? The more people talk about it, like that guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know that guy? The Rich Dad, Poor Dad author? Everybody knows that guy. You know, he's out there saying this is the perfect storm, this next thing's going to happen next, and it's da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take part in causing any kind of financial panic in the little role that I play. You know, there's people that are on national stages on television that are talking about it hardcore, okay? And I'm just not going to do that. And I think it's irresponsible for people in the media to do it and continue to talk about it, because I was listening to a lot of people yesterday that are the business reporters on the different networks, including Charles Payne. And Charles Payne sounded very weird to me yesterday when he was talking about this. And there's all kinds of different excuses for why there's been these bank failures, in particular Silicon Valley. Some of them say that they were just loaning out too much money. Some are saying that they were too woke and they were more concerned about being woke than they were banking. I don't know. I've heard half a dozen different explanations. What I do know is this: I don't think anyone knows why it happened yet. And in the media environment that we're in, people rush to talk about things that they have no understanding of and cause a panic. And if I were going on the air, going through the Rich Dad, Poor Dad comments and all these other economists that are predicting doom and gloom, I'd be participating in that, and I'm not going to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that if there's not a development that we're not going to talk about it. Of course, we would talk about it. But right now, I think the media is causing a panic. And the reason they're causing a panic is because yesterday was a slow news day. It was a slow news day. And, you know, and today's kind of a slow news day too. And you know, you had the Oscars. So when there's a slow news day and then something like this happens, they give a lot of focus on it, and they cause people to panic and go to the bank and withdraw their money. And that could happen. So and I'm not saying that the media should not report news. Don't misunderstand me. But we all know that we had the one bank close, and I know there's different branches, and then we had the New York bank that the government moved in. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. But there is not a single financial expert that I saw giving analysis on this yesterday that knew what the heck happened. Because I heard one person on Fox, right? Charles Payne sounded very hysterical and very weird and didn't have any reasonings. He was just yelling about nothingness. Then they had a woman on who's on Fox Business. I'd forgotten her name, and she's been a guest on this show, and I'd forgotten her name. And she was talking about how they've given too many loans out without doing background check. Nobody knows what happened. And until they do, they should keep their mouths shut, or they're going to cause an economic crisis. All right? And they very well may cause a crisis, because they won't stop talking about something they shouldn't be talking about until they know what happened. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Call us on hold, stand by. Back after this.
making morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
I mean, you guys agree with that? I mean, how many different explanations for Silicon Valley's failure did you hear yesterday? How many? You know, there's not one or two like theories or ideas or reasonings that all these business gurus that are on TV all the time agree on, which means none of them know what happened, why it happened, or what. Okay? And it could have just been corrupt people running the bank. It could have been I don't know. But what they're doing is causing a panic. And our economy really can't afford to take too many hits, you know? Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I got his book, and I know what his theory is. I agree with some of what he says, not on this. I mean in general. But who am I to do? I mean, he's worth millions of dollars. He's done very well, but I don't always agree. I don't agree with him a lot of the time on a lot of things. Yeah, I've been keeping people on hold. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to the phones after the break. Well, Barney Frank on the board of directors, okay? A lot of you may not remember Barney Frank. He's an openly gay Democrat congressman. And when he was in Congress, his boyfriend got busted running a male prostitution ring out of Barney Frank's house. Remember that? So this job that Barney Frank has on the board of directors, is that a real job or is that like a fake job? You know what I mean? I would tend to think it's a fake job. Yeah. Yeah, that's not in the story about Barney. Yeah, his boyfriend, Barney Frank's boyfriend, had a male prostitution business running out of Barney Frank's house. And when it came out, he claimed he didn't know anything about it. Give me a break. Mm-hmm.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or
All right.
It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by Epic.
I cannot believe we are halfway through the show and it's still freaking dark outside. This time change just sucks. I hate it.
He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never hurt you if you don't need. If you have an insurance claim, call your insurance company immediately. Then call Tom Laporta. New laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs, so you don't necessarily need to employ a public adjuster or a lawyer. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Safe Haven Senior Services goal is to protect the dignity and quality of life of seniors.
A case of accidental journalism? Yeah.
Families the peace of mind that comes
I love that
from
line of Rush's. A case of accidental journalism.
or
Yeah.
independent living, Alzheimer's care, or consulting services. Safe Haven Senior Services is here to help.
Well, thank you, Rome. Yeah, I thought last night's podcast was a pretty good one.
Palm Beaches, our consultants are trained and licensed by the Agency for Healthcare Administration and the Department of Elder Affairs, so you can trust Safe Haven Senior Services. They are a hands-on concierge-style experience. They do the legwork for you. And the best part is all of their services are free to the community. Call them today at 305-542-1011. That's 305-542-1011. Learn more at safehavenseniorservices.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business for 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Our phones are very, very busy this morning. Hold on, guys. And we're joined by Steve Kane. Hey, Steve.
Morning. How are you on this very fine day?
Well, we are at this. It is 7:33 in the morning, so we're 3.5 minutes past the halfway mark of the show, and it's still dark outside. I hate this. I hate it. I don't like the time change. But the phones are ringing off the hook here. You want to take some calls? What do you want to do? All right, so I brought up a lot of things this morning, and I know I was keeping some of you on hold for a while. I apologize, but I wanted to get some things out, in particular about Trump's great speech in Iowa last night. But I will take the calls to the best of my ability in the order in which they were received. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Andrea, how are you?
I'm hanging in. How are you, Steve?
Just hanging in, not better than that?
Yeah, I kind of hurt my back a couple of months ago, so I've been at home just hanging out. But I wanted to talk about this banking thing for a second. So what people need to recognize is a couple of things. The first thing is, if you start pulling your money out of these small local banks and putting it in the large banks, you know what you're doing? You're eliminating your choices. So,
Well, Andrea, let me slow you down. I don't understand what you're talking about. I mean, I know we had these bank failures and everything, but I don't understand what you're advocating for now.
so there's a bunch of small, like what they would call community banks, right? And then there's the four major banks. So when people panic, they normally make horrible financial decisions. So if you have a whole bunch of people now, because of what happened, start pulling their money out of these small community banks, they're going to go out of business, increasing the wealth of the four major banks, which will
That's true.
be your only choices. So,
See, you know, this first. Hey, Andrea, take care. Call us on hold, stand by. I don't really know what you're talking about. But yesterday, there's Silicon Valley Bank. All right. Everybody knows they have a bunch of. You've heard mentioned. Well, they were backing a lot of risky tech ventures, and what I was talking about yesterday, what came out, that's half the story. They were backing a lot of risky Chinese tech companies. So I was wondering if this failure was really an organic failure where it failed on its own, or is this China trying to pull a fast one or a test run to see how they can affect our economy? And my guess would be China's got a role in this. Okay, China's got so much money, nothing they do is really risky financially. And yeah,
If you're saying you think China has a role,
it's possible.
is what you're really saying that you think Biden may have a role in it?
Well, I don't know about that, but I know China. Since they are Chinese companies that were in the risky tech business that the Silicon Valley Bank was financing. It means that the Chinese would have a lot of influence over that bank, right? By not paying back the billions of dollars they were taking from it. So the Chinese could be doing a test run to see what kind of attack they can get away with on the economy. But let's take some more calls, because talking about banking is like the Kaufman show. Boring. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
not sure I agree with that. Because
All right. Well, if people want to talk about banking, I'm open to it, but it's not my area of excitement. Good morning, caller. You're on the.
no, it's not my area of expertise either by a long shot, but but common sense is, and basic common sense tells me that birds of a feather flock together, and if there's skullduggery going on, it seems to me, just common sense wise, that if you're looking for villains, they probably have a common.
Yeah. I just don't think that a caller that I just put on. Hold on one second, and we'll get to you. Hold on, caller. The thing about the bank, there's two things about it. One, I think what we know very little about. We don't even know what happened. Okay, with this bank failure, so no one knows. Everyone that's talking about it has 80 different theories. The other thing is, not only that talking about banking is terminally boring, but also talking about bank closures when nobody knows what they're talking about could cause a financial panic in this country. And I just don't think it's a good topic for people to be talking about anywhere right now, and unless there's a new development or we have some concrete reasoning as to what happened.
Caution is always the better part of valor.
Yeah. All right, caller, you're on. What's on your mind?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's Taj.
Oh, hey, Taj.
Taj.
Hey, I'm sorry to do this, but I would like to ask the gentleman that is your sponsor for the gold and silver what he recommends doing, because I'm sure he's going to say it's times like these that you want to take a portion of your cash and put it into gold and silver. We have inflation, now we have bank problems. It seems like history is repeating itself.
Well, yesterday, yeah. Well, when you look at the past few years, right? Everything that gold and silver are for have happened, right? Natural disasters, plagues, financial crisis, inflation, bank failures. These are obviously the time where gold and silver is a safe haven for your money. And we'll talk with William Youngman about that. But Taj, what I'm talking about is this, okay? And this is a choice. This is up to Steve what to do. It's Steve Kane Show, but this is just my personal choice, okay? I could light up the phones talking about the banking crisis that no one knows really why it happened yet. It could be, I heard several theories. They were giving out loans to risky tech companies. They were giving loans for people to buy planes is another one. They're too woke, all kinds of things. Nobody knows what happened. It could be they were just incompetent and stupid bankers, right? Who knows? We don't know. I could fill up the lines talking about bank failures today, and we could have an exciting show, and it would be high energy, and every line on the board would be lit about it. And a lot of people are doing that on national television, on the national platforms. But doesn't that cause a panic? Isn't that irresponsible?
It's also suppression of information.
Well, we don't have any information. Like, okay, let me give an example. On 9/11, okay, we talked about it. We knew what happened. Islamic terrorists hijacked airplanes and crashed into the buildings. We had something concrete to talk about. All right, what happened? What was the security failures? If there was just a crash into a building and we didn't know why, and we're just throwing wild things out there without knowing why, is that responsible? Because people could go to their banks and withdraw all their money today because they get panicked because people are jazzed up talking. Yesterday was a very slow news day. And honestly, today's a medium news day, all right? So when the news is slow, the 24-hour cable networks got a lot of time to fill. And they don't want to report that Trump's way ahead in Iowa against DeSantis, even when they poll Democrats. So what do? They bring in all their business people from Fox Business or CNBC over on MSNBC, and they talk about something that they don't know anything about, the Silicon Bank collapse. Okay? Other than the bank collapsed, we don't know anything else.
I watched a lot of television in the past couple days, a lot of television. More than I usually watch a lot, and I watched far more yesterday than usual. And it was not a slow news day. It was actually a very, very busy news day with lots of very, very unusual things going on. In fact, I called you.
No. You're missing my. No. Later in the day, things happened. Early in the day, okay, because you had the Oscars the night before. Yesterday. No. You're talking about later in the day. Yesterday before noon, there was not a lot of news, okay? It was a slow news day because of the Oscars. It always is the morning after the Oscars, okay? So the media, and then Biden came out to speak before the markets opened. The media spent the entire morning talking about something they didn't know about. They were giving analysis on something that they had nothing to analyze. That causes people to go to the bank and take out their money. And we got bankers. I had to go to the bank yesterday. And when I went to the bank and I walked in, I went to Bank of America, the woman at the door, I could tell she was nervous. Like, uh-oh, here's another one. You know, I felt like, remember George Bailey begging people not to withdraw their money? You know, that's the national media talking about these collapses without knowing what happened could cause a panic, a financial panic, unnecessarily. I think it's irresponsible for them to do it until we know what happened. What do you think, caller?
I still disagree, Brian. I think that if we had time with a very short window to act, we could put some money into gold and silver right now. And well,
listen, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter how great the weather is or how bad it is, it's always good to go to William Youngerman's and buy gold and silver. I mean, that's a fact. But what I'm talking about is talking about a bank crisis when we don't know what happened could cause people to go to the bank and withdraw their money. And you know what? They don't have enough money. It's like a Ponzi, the banking system. And when people go and, yeah, it's a Ponzi. And when people start doing that, it causes a financial crisis, possibly unnecessarily. Listen, I got to run for the break, Taj, but good call. Thanks so much. All right, callers on hold, stand by. Back after this.
A cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you about how my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton, has rid me of pain from a knee injury and arthritis pain with his laser away pain treatment. But don't just take my word for it. This is one of our callers who called me live on the radio to tell me how chiropractic physician Dr. Philip Appleton helped him with his laser away pain treatment.
You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Sean, calling from Boca Raton. I want to thank you guys once again.
I mean, what do you guys get my point? We don't know exactly what happened. This could be a couple of isolated incidents. It could be something big, but it also could be a couple of isolated incidents, right? Is it responsible or irresponsible for the media to continue to talk about and give analysis on something that they know nothing about? Right? Could it not cause a financial panic unnecessarily? I'm sorry. No. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's irresponsible. I mean, maybe I'm not right, but I think it is irresponsible. And there's a lot of news stories that don't lend themselves to discussion, right? Like that rush to the border yesterday by all those guys. That's a news story, but it's not something that's like up for a discussion. You know, that's there's not much to have a discussion about with that. That, well, hold on, guys. Yeah. Wait, I mean, until we know what happened. You know, you got some liberal wokesters out there that it just as easily could be just incompetent people like the Biden regime running the bank. Maybe it's not, but maybe it is. And it's it's not suppression of news. We have no news. All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here, and I'm transitioning cleverly into a commercial, Steve. Walked right over it. Yep. No, you just walked right. You know, I did something in the first hour that that I'm doing again in the second hour, and that is do earlier in the show a message about Anne Marie's Italian restaurant in Pompano. I try to talk about Anne Marie's as late into the show as I can, because when I grab the menu, I start getting hungry, and I can't eat till 9, right? And I've got in my hand the Anne Marie's dessert menu. We talk so much about the great homemade Italian favorites and the incredible pizzas and all of that stuff. The desserts are fantastic, and I've had a whole bunch of their desserts at Anne Marie's, and like everything else, homemade. You know, I tell you guys often that most every restaurant in town, they get their food at BJ's and Costco, and they microwave it. That's you know, if I want the Costco BJ's, I'll go there myself and microwave it at home, okay? And that goes for their desserts too at these restaurants. I've been there. You know, you go to Costco, you see the same desserts they're serving at restaurants. Not at Anne Marie's in Pompano. Like their Italian favorites on the menu, like their pizza and all their dishes, everything is homemade, including their desserts. I just want to tell you guys about some of my favorite desserts at Anne Marie's. The fresh baked brownie. This is Grandma's favorite. Again, Grandma's recipes all over the dessert menu as well. Grandma's favorite dessert, baked fresh just for you to order. And of course, you get a giant scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Oh, the New York cheesecake. Have you had the cheesecake at Anne Marie's, Steve? You know, the portions are so huge that, you know, you don't have room for the dessert. That's why I'm always taking stuff home, because I always leave room for dessert. Oh, yeah, classic New York-style cheesecake by the slice. You can add chocolate, caramel, strawberry, or raspberry sauce. The strawberry Nutella pizza is out of this world. My daughter ordered that, and I ate it, and she was a little upset. We took a... She said, "What happened to my strawberry Nutella pizza?" I said, I got to take out the trash. The strawberry Nutella pizza is a perfect mix of Nutella, fresh strawberries, and powdered sugar baked into a fluffy pizza dough. I am starving right now. I am so hungry right now. Grandma's cookie cup. And by the way, the prices on the dessert menu are so low. I don't know how they make money over there, Steve. These are really low prices. Grandma's cookie cup. 1 dozen homemade chocolate chip cookies. You know, sometimes I'll go get those Toll House things in the dairy aisle, you know, that are already made, and you just put them on the baking pan, and I'll tell my wife, I say, "Look, homemade cookies." She's like, "Those aren't home." I said, "I made them in the home." Well, no, at Anne Marie's, when they say homemade, they're actually made from scratch. Okay, not like me. So Grandma's cookie cup, 1 dozen homemade chocolate chip cookies, and of course you get a giant scoop of vanilla ice cream added to that, and it's just perfection. And I saved the best for last. Okay, the cannolis. Steve, have you had the cannolis? Oh, you gotta get the cannolis. Okay, and by the way, the cannolis are great for takeout. Okay, I get every time I go in, I walk out with a bunch of cannolis for takeout, and they're just as good when I get home as if I had them right there in the restaurant. The cannolis, they have 2 sizes, mini and large. I got the mini the first time. After that, I only get the large. They're so good. Get the large.
The pizza is so incredible. I don't have anything else when I go. I just load up 3 weeks worth of pizza every time I go, and I have it for 3 weeks.
Well, you know, you could start with dessert, Steve. You could start with the cannolis. You could start with, you know, with the Nutella. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. Now listen, Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, let's go back to our very busy phones. Phones ringing off the hook. Good morning, you're on the air. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just to put a cap on our last discussion.
Hey, good morning.
Well, hold on, caller, hold on.
I have a
Hold on, Augustino.
sit on him for.
Yeah, we're sitting on it. We're sitting on Augustino.
I have my own personal expert when it comes to these matters. Some of you know really well, as a matter of fact, who I consult before I do say anything that'll get me in trouble. So I follow all this stuff very, very closely, as you know, and I'm not going to say anything that I think is out of line, but I think, suffice it to say, I think a lot of things have shown their hand of late, and I think a lot of things have become obvious as of late, and you can't, you want to be responsible, because we are, in that sense, journalists, but you still have a responsibility to go off to things that seem to be happening, that seem to be reasonably logical and logically true. And I won't say any more with this, but just you'll know when the stuff starts to happen, and we certainly.
Well, okay. Here's what I know. Okay, there's Augustino and the other callers. Hold on, because I will forget this thought. So I want to say this real quick. These financial experts that are on all of the cable news, from Fox News and Fox Business to CNBC and everyone in between. Okay, all of them are like these retired lieutenant generals and lieutenant colonels that you see on TV. Telling you got to go to war, go send your kids to Ukraine, and for the military experts have a conflict of interest. Most every one of them works for some military company that wants war so they can sell stuff, right? These financial people that are on the different business channels are the same way. They're all in the hedge funds, they're all over the market, and they don't mind. And what happens with these financial reporters? They manipulate the market, and they have no problem bringing. They got so excited yesterday when the stocks were down in the beginning because they can go in and buy them cheap. You can't trust these financial gurus on TV, and they're causing a panic. And if they keep it going, they'll cause a financial crisis, which they're very happy to do. Look what happened. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, and everyone got their account covered, even the people with millions of dollars when it's only supposed to be $250,000. And the reason it's limited at $250,000, the banking insurance, is as an incentive for the banks to do good business and not do things that are so risky that cause them to fail, right? So these guys love it when there's a bank failure, when the stocks drop, because they have big money. They can come in and grab it all up. You can't, these financial gurus on television have conflicts of interest. They cannot be trusted, and they're causing a panic. I mean, that's just my thought. I'm watching this yesterday, and I thought it was irresponsible broadcasting.
I think everything you're saying is in keeping with what I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing is a little more specific than what you're saying.
All right. Well, let's take some calls. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Barbara calling you from Maryland.
Hey, Barbara.
I agree with you 100%. This is irresponsible. Man, I agree with Brian. He's absolutely right. They're causing a panic. They're causing a panic unnecessarily. The fiduciary, the main responsibility of a bank is fiduciary responsibility to the depositors. They didn't exercise that. They were using market risk. They were not paying attention. Instead, you got the person who was the head of risk management She's out there making sure that they hire gay people, that they hire black people, and all this stuff. That's not their job. Their job is not to be woke. And when I heard that they were going to bail them out over 250, I'm like, that's crap. You're talking about wealthy people. Joe Biden is always talking about tax the rich. That's bullcrap.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll tell you something. I did hear one person say that there were some billionaires, including that Teal guy that they're always talking about, who was pushing for a bailout of this bank, and he had money involved. And the reason that bank got bailed out is because donors to the political establishment of both parties had a lot of money in it. That's why they got bailed out. Because they were bailing out their donors. Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't have happened.
No.
Shouldn't have happened. And here's the thing. I want to know, has it really happened, or right now is it talk? I didn't hear where Congress authorized it. Did you hear it, or did I miss that story?
No, I missed that too.
So they're not authorizing the bailout of the student loans. So why in the heck would they authorize the bailout of over 250?
I don't know. I don't know what authority the FDIC has to do that. I don't know. But you make some good points, Carl. Hey, thanks so much for your call. Oh, I forgot about Augustino. Augustino, sorry about that. Didn't mean to slight you there. Forgot about you.
All right.
Go ahead. You're on the air now, Augustino.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I was just wanting to call because I Tucker Carlson and stuff, and I thought it was pretty good. And they said that one officer died. I don't know what his name was. You know his name, right?
Yeah. The Capitol Police officer? Correct.
They got video footage of him. Now, I also seen when I was watching Tucker Carlson, where they went like in a, what do you call that thing, where they, I don't know, they got the dead person in there. What do you call that? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, Augustino, but listen, we're up against a break. Thanks for your call. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number, 888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, 888-465-2631. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. The Steve Kane Show this year. It's pretty amazing. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, continue on this and some of the other topics we brought up since 6, and your calls at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back right after this break.
WUNN Pompano Beach. WIRK.
Okay. Be right back, guys. Be right back. Yeah, I was having a bad connection with him today, a little bit. But I think that could be on his end.
Might be. I don't know.
You know, it's hard to tell.
That's why I wanted to move the cursor to make sure that
Yeah.
he's on.
It's bedhead? Yeah, maybe a little bit. I need a haircut. I just haven't had a chance to get one yet. Who cares about your hair on the radio, right? So. Finally, some light outside. My goodness. Grow it out like a manga hippie? Nah. We're coming into the summertime. It's too hot in Florida to grow out my hair. But most of the guys my age have no hair to grow out, at least not on top. Oh yeah, my hair is really thick. If I let it grow out, I keep it cut really short. I haven't gotten a haircut since before the cruise. I got a haircut right before the cruise. So I'm going to give my analysis of what's going on here with this financial problem we get back. Since Steve wants to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. I'll tell you. I'll give you my analysis, and you guys can call in and agree or disagree. But I know exactly what is going on here. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. All right, you with us, Steve? Okay. All right, I lost you. Steve said I interrupted a conversation. All right, you back with us, Steve? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You want to finish the conversation or what? It might be more interesting to listen in on your private conversation than our on-the-air conversation. You know how that goes. You're a little off mic. You're a little low. Okay, so... That's much better. Now I can hear you. Callers on hold, standby. Let me give my rundown, Steve, of this financial situation, and then we can take some calls. See if you agree with me, if some callers agree with me. Okay. There's a story today. Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I have that book, and it's interesting. And he's very well known, and he's friends with President Trump, by the way. He knows Donald Trump. He's all over the news today, and what Kiyosaki says, he says Credit Suisse, that's the LGBT bank, Credit Suisse shares have fallen to an all-time low. The bank has announced it has found material weakness. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who called the 2008 Lehman Brothers collapse, says that there's more problems coming, and he gets more specific. This is a bunch of nonsense, okay? I think this is an artificial crisis that's being created by these Wall Street bankers who are looking to have the government come in and cover all their problems, all their debts, all their mistakes, and cover their businesses, just like Bush did in 2008 with Lehman Brothers. Here you had the banks giving, you remember that they're not getting too specific about 2008. They keep referencing 2008, but they don't tell you what caused it. The 2008 was it was called they don't talk about this now because they don't want you to know. It was the subprime mortgage crisis. And what happened, all these big New York banks were giving mortgages to people to buy $500,000 homes that had no credit history, no down payments, no nothing, right? Remember that? So sometimes even bad credit. And they went into foreclosure. And what happened, right? They gave out all these bad mortgages, they made all their money, and then George W. Bush came in and saved them and bailed them all out. Now, with what happened with this Silicon Valley Bank, the government came in and covered everything, every account, which they're not supposed to do, right? So now all of a sudden, every bank is whining problems. They're trying to scare us with a depression. So now the government's going to come in and start bailing out all these banks that really don't need bailing out, but all their operatives that pass themselves off as business reporters on all the cable news are telling us that we're going to have this collapse. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad author, he's doing the same thing. So now the government's going to come in and start covering, start paying off all their debts and liabilities and everything. This happened. It happened in 2008, and now here we are 15 years later, and the same people are trying to get the taxpayers, us, to do this again. This is all fake. There's no financial crisis that's natural. It's being hyped up and pushed into a financial crisis by these people that want the government bailout, just like in 2008. That's what I think's going on. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on banking and things like that, but that's what it looks like to me, Steve. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'll discuss my thoughts with you in private.
In private? Oh, my goodness. Don't we do our talking on the air? I mean, that's the best case scenario. We don't want a financial crisis. So yeah.
I don't have any secret knowledge. I just want to bounce it off you before I...
Okay, sounds good. All right, now let me give out the number, and maybe I'm wrong. I may be right. I may be crazy. Okay, who said that? Billy Joel. Billy Joel. You may be right. I may be crazy. But I think that, remember Rahm Emanuel, don't let a good crisis go to waste. I think these New York bankers saw Silicon Valley. They saw a quick bailout that was pushed by the uniparty donors. And then all of a sudden, oh, we're in crisis too. Oh, bail us out too. That's what's going on. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on. What's your name? Hey, Bob. Robert Reich.
Oh,
he'll say I'm wrong.
You guys,
he
I
hates
always
me.
listen to you. Love the show. Brian, part of the reason those bankers did that was they were forced by people like Obama, and the subprimes were not something they wanted to do. They were forced for racial purposes.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter started that. Yeah.
The problem with it wasn't like they, of their own volition, decided to suddenly want to take on a lot of very high-risk loans like that. It was a political thing. They were forced to do it. So I'm not excusing bankers or saying they're the best people in the world, but I do think in that particular
yeah. Well, obviously Obama wasn't president yet when that happened. It was W. But
banks.
Suing banks. Yeah. And there was another big bailout. By the way, this is not Robert Reich, the little short guy that was the Secretary of Labor for Bill Clinton. This is another Bob Reich, who's sadly.
You guys I got a call from long ago when I was down here in Florida from some guy who thought I was Robert Reich's, who was a reporter, and he thought I was Robert Reich's father.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say, because I hate Robert Reich. I was going to
yeah.
We never thought Robert would make it because after he stole hubcaps, and
Yeah.
we didn't think he was going anywhere.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and Robert Reich on the phone here is a tall guy. He is about 5 Robert Reich Secretary of Labor's in height. But but I want to do the disclaimer because he's on TV a lot right now talking about things he knows nothing about, economic issues, because he's never had a job outside of government. But what about, look at what happened when they, with General Motors. General Motors got bailed out for a similar reason, right? They were overextended doing, yeah. So there's this business model that has a lot of influence over DC, right? The military-industrial complex, which pushes us into wars to make money from the government, and car companies and unions drive businesses out of business. The government comes in and bails them out. These donors to the Uniparty have a business plan where every few years they get bailed out by the taxpayers when they screw up.
Strange coincidence, they're usually Democrats.
Usually, yeah, except in
Valley Bank, the whole story is these are all the big keys who are huge Democrat donors, and their accounts so vastly exceed 250,000 that Biden's going to make an exception.
Which is insane because, I mean, again, I'm not a banker. I don't have an expertise in that. So, that's one of the reasons I'm not talking too much about it. I talk about things I know about, not things I don't know about, like those guys that, That's correct. Correct. But the thing about the $250,000 FDIC limit, my guess would be, as a non-expert, would be that that's an incentive for the banks to be honest. If you're going to bail all the accounts out, no matter how many hundreds of millions are in the account, what incentive do they have to be a responsible business as a bank if they're just going to get bailed out? So that's why it's only $250.
Lends itself to that sort of thing.
Now, we got to take our break, but Bob, good to hear from you. I'm Brian Steves here. We'll be right back.
Sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
And we are back. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry. Oh, we lost Attorney Barry Siegel. That's okay. We were going to go to Attorney Barry Siegel, but we lost him. We'll get him back in a moment. But Attorney Barry Siegel, Steve, he reviewed your trust. You had a trust. You thought everything was hunky-dory and fine, and you found out that your trust was pretty useless until Attorney Barry Siegel reviewed your trust. And when you call Attorney Barry Siegel, the Siegel Law Group will review your trust at no charge. All right, we got him back. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. We were just vamping a little bit about trust, Barry. Good morning. What do you have for us today?
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing all right.
All right, good. Well, one of the things with planning doing estate planning is it's one of those things that some people tend to put off. The whole thing with the P word, procrastination. We all have certain things that we procrastinate, but on. But one of them that many people do that on is estate planning. I mean, we all have some things, like a lot of them, cleaning out our closet, our garage, our storage units. Those are things we like to put off. But for some reason, people put off estate planning. And some of the reasons might be is just, we live busy lives and we have a lot of things that are more immediate on the top of our minds. Maybe it's our plans for the weekend. Maybe it's our plans for spring break or summer vacations. Sometimes people are just superstitious about doing these kind of things. And then also sometimes it's just people don't want to be thinking about end-of-life issues or disability issues. So for all those reasons and many more I don't even have time to list here, people tend to put it off. But really, it's something that it's just so important because what we're really doing is protecting ourselves, protecting our families, and giving our families peace of mind that things are taken care of, that we're protecting our loved ones, avoiding messes. so that we don't have to deal with things like probate and guardianship. And that's why it's important to either make sure you have an estate plan, or if you have one, make sure that you have it reviewed at least once every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, in fact, that's how we met you, Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. We actually were introduced to him by our last caller, Robert Reich. And Steve he already had a trust, already had his estate plan, did it years ago, and had it reviewed by Attorney Barry Siegel and found out it was really a mess. The trustee was dead. There were people there that were no longer married to your kids, or there were new grandkids. It was a mess. It would have basically been a useless document if Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group had not reviewed it and updated it. By the way, the Siegel Law Group will review your estate plan at no charge if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. Their number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. All right, back after this.
Here since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
Indeed it is. All right, now I want to take a moment to tell everyone about the incredible Douro River cruise through Portugal's wine country, August 23rd to September 2nd. This is really an amazing, once-in-a-lifetime, bucket list, dream vacation that you will remember for the rest of your life. Now, the time of year of this cruise is not random. August 23rd through September 2nd. This is when the grapes are on the vines in Portugal's wine country. And, you know, that's right. I know. Isn't that pretty cool? So you're going to be sailing down the Douro River through all of these vineyards. The grapes are going to be on the vine, which is going to be beautiful. That sounds amazing. But it's a wine tour and culinary event along the way. You're going to stop in these vineyards and not just have the great wines and the great foods. You're going to actually be able to take the grapes right off the vines and eat them. It's amazing. Now, if you book by March 31st, which will be here sooner rather than later, if you book by March 31st, free round-trip airfare is included from the United States to Portugal's capital of Lisbon, and also included is high-speed rail transportation from Lisbon to Porto, where the luxury riverboat awaits. And this is a first-class experience, okay? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tips are included. If you'd like more information, go to brianportugal.com. When you go to brianportugal.com, click on that request a brochure. You'll get that brochure. It will give you all the details about this incredible river cruise down the Douro River through Portugal's wine country. That's brianportugal.com. Make sure to request that brochure, brianportugal.com. All right, you want to go to the phones? What do you want to do, Steve?
Oh, let's go.
All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Yeah, yes, Helen.
Kansas.
Hi, Steve. I'm glad you guys are feeling better and doing better. It's been quite a winter, hasn't it?
Yes.
We don't have winter in Florida. We're in Florida. We have no winter. We just have summer and summer.
Well, you know what I mean, cold and whatever.
I'm waiting for the part that's relevant to our conversation, Helen, that we're having on the radio.
This financial business that's going on, it seems, like you said, Brian, it seems like the government helps to create a crisis so they can come in like knights on white horses and save the day.
By bailing out their donors, yes.
Yeah, with what? With our tax dollars. This is disgusting. And I think this is all a part of building up the World Central Bank.
I think it's more about everything Biden does. It's about getting paid and paybacks. You know, President Trump gave a great speech last night in Iowa, Steve, and sadly, well, a lot of people missed it because DirecTV and AT&T took Newsmax off of their airs. So most people didn't even have access to catch President Trump's speech in Iowa. But I'll tell you, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful speech. It was a great speech. And I just have one clip I want to play. This one is, I only have 2 clips from the speech. It was a great speech, but yeah.
But since they screwed us around by taking our favorite president off the air, why don't we kind of
Yeah.
for the election when our president gives a speech, why don't we keep reports on it the next day?
Well, that's what I spent the whole first hour talking about. And I do every time, because I don't miss a Trump speech. But the one in Iowa, I only have 2 clips, but I'm only going to play one of them now. I played the other ones earlier in the show. And this is really kind of sums up the whole speech, okay? Here's Trump last night, Iowa.
And 2024 is the final battle. That's it. If you put me back in the White House, the reign of the corrupt Washington establishment will be over again.
Yeah. And what he means, this is his last battle because, well, he only has 1 term left and he's not getting any younger. And he knows that next time he'll probably be too old to run, and this is it. And he's the only one that could continue to take on the Uniparty. He's really wounded the Uniparty, but this is definitely his last. He said this is his last battle. And there's a poll. I went through this in the first hour, but this is very important. These snakes in the media are trying to pull a fast one on everyone, okay? So Governor DeSantis went to Iowa on Friday. President Trump was there last night. Now, DeSantis and his speech are all over the media. Where's Trump's? Right? Did they carry Trump? Are they running the highlights of Trump all over like they were DeSantis all weekend long? I don't think so. Yeah, this is this suppression. But they are in the media. There's a poll out of the Des Moines Register, which is the Iowa newspaper of record. And they don't ask who would you vote for. They ask, it's a favorability rating poll, which is very vague and generic. Do you like the guy? Do you not like the guy? And President Trump is in first place by about 5 points or so ahead of DeSantis in the favorability poll. The favorability poll, not who you're going to vote for poll. Because there's another soundbite I played yesterday, but you weren't here, Steve, that I'll play after the break that is just Ron DeSantis' presidential hopes are over. I'll play that after the bottom of the hour. But it's a favorability. Do you like Trump? Do you like DeSantis? Not who you're going to vote for. And Trump's in the lead by a few points. Well, it took me some searching to get the breakdown of who they polled. They polled 805 residents of Iowa, 805. 257 of them were Republicans, right? That means 568 of them were Democrats, right? So they oversampled almost by double Democrats. 805 polled Iowa residents, only 257 Republicans. The rest are Democrats. And even among Iowa's Democrats, yeah, well, Trump is still ahead in that poll. Even a poll that's overweighted by, I don't even know what percentage Democrats, Trump is still ahead. And it wasn't even who you're going to vote for. It was a likability rating. You know, and they're not giving you that breakdown of the poll because they don't want you to know. They're lying to you. Okay, they're lying. Oh, Trump's barely ahead. No, he's double digits ahead. They didn't ask who you're going to vote for, and they overpolled Democrats.
To chills up your spine to think what they have up their sleeve for the...
Yeah. Now, you weren't here yesterday, Steve, so I'm going to play a soundbite that I played yesterday that shows that Ron DeSantis, if he plans on running for president, it's hopeless. And we'll share that one. I shared it yesterday, but we're going to share it again today, okay? Because you weren't here yesterday, and I want you to hear it. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve, of course, is here. We'll be back after this break.
Making morning radio great.
Now listen, guys, don't forget, go to mypillow.com. Now, I put the link pinned in the chat there, and it's also in the description of the YouTube video if you're not watching live. Now, you can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. So if there's anything you want from MyPillow, you can take advantage of that huge deal, save up to 80% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. But Mike Lindell has released his brand new 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 that has that cooling technology that the new pillows have, so that your entire body, from your head all the way down to your tippy toes, are going to be cool in the perfect temperature all night long. And the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, is 40% off with free shipping. Free shipping, 40% off the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with the cooling technology. So that is an incredible, incredible deal, and it's a great way for you to support the program and all the content that I bring is by using our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, when you buy your MyPillow products. That's pretty good. No, but that, I mean, Trump's even ahead in a poll with that many Democrats oversampled in it. That's just insanity. I can't believe they get away with this stuff. I really cannot. I left home and forgot my wireless mic, so I'm wearing the wired mic today. So I can't walk too far, or the wire will snap me back into place. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and everyone, please like the video.
If you have certain chronic conditions, such as heart disease, asthma, diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52, 36, 42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia.
What we'll probably do is get one for us and then get one for our daughter in California and send it to her. We only have one bed in our house. Our other bedrooms are used for other things. Now that our daughter moved out, we took her bedroom and Kathy turned it into an art studio. We have 3 bedrooms. So Kathy took our daughter's bedroom, we took the bed out and turned it into an art studio. And our 3rd bedroom is my recording and podcast studio. So the only bed we have in our house is the one Kathy and I sleep on. We have a blow-up mattress for when we have guests. Like when our daughter comes to visit. We put the blow-up mattress in the living room or in my daughter's old bedroom or something.
Necessary. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Scott here from mypillowwatts.com. We are an energy saving and insulation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on first.
Wow, Bruce, that's nice. Thanks, Bruce.
Rebate programs for low to moderate income families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge. You can use this money for insulation and radiant barriers. Up to $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters up to $3,750 available. AC units up to $10,000 available. Electric panel upgrades up to $6,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify.
celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Now, I played this a couple times yesterday, but since you weren't here yesterday, I wanted to play this for you. Now, I believe Ron DeSantis' announcement is he's not running. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's here, he's there. Well, he's on a book tour. He's got a book out. He's promoting the book. So these stops, like in Iowa and everything, are teases. Okay? He's not running, and he's going to announce he's not running. In fact, it's against Florida law for him to run. For him to run, he would have to change Florida law. You can't run, and if he changed Florida law so that he could undermine Trump, the MAGA Republicans would turn against him in droves. Brian Kilmeade crushed any hopes Ron DeSantis had of running for president against Donald Trump on Fox News over the weekend. Okay, now this clip is insane. Okay, did you see any of the Brian Kilmeade stuff with DeSantis, Steve? And okay, he went on this Florida PR tour with DeSantis, and he did something that, if this were not live, would not have made it to air. He was in Punta Gorda, Florida, which is on the west coast of Florida, somewhere between Tampa and Fort Myers, isn't it? I'm not exactly sure where. It's on the Gulf Coast of Florida, over in that Tampa area that I try to avoid. And, yeah, I know. I got my reasons. Mainly the Skyway Bridge is why I don't go to Tampa, guys. The Skyway Bridge, that's the bridge that they rebuilt after the ship crashed into it and people fell to their deaths, okay? I don't like going to Tampa because of that. But anyway, so Brian Kilmeade, he's live on Fox, and he's in a diner in Punta Gorda, Florida, and assumed that since he was in Florida, it's DeSantis country. They're going to love DeSantis. And he asked people who they wanted to run for president in this Florida diner, and it didn't go the way Kilmeade was expecting. Listen.
The election. Rapid fire. Who's your man? Who's your woman?
My man, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Christina. Who's your man? Donald Trump. Or woman? Trump. Trump. A lot of Trump fans.
Trump and Nikki Haley.
And Nikki Haley.
Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
All right, so far a lot of Donald Trump. I feel like we need a little bit of a break from election to election.
Oh, all of a sudden, we need a break, Brian Kilmeade. Okay. This is devastating if DeSantis is planning on running, because these people in Florida didn't even mention DeSantis as a vice president. They talked about Kristi Noem and Nikki Haley as vice president. They didn't even mention DeSantis in Florida as vice president, which shows that in a head-to-head matchup in the Florida primary, Ron DeSantis would lose Florida to Trump. And that means your career's over if you lose the state you're governor of, right? So that, but I don't think he's running, and I don't think DeSantis plans on running. That doesn't mean that he doesn't want to run, but I think he's accepted that it's not his time. And there's not been a single poll that Trump hasn't led him in. Not one. I've been following even this Iowa one with the Democrats. Trump has been ahead, double digits in most of them, in every single matchup. And then this happened with Kilmeade. What are your thoughts, Steve? Yeah, I'm telling you. And, the thing with DeSantis is they're telling us he's selling a lot of books, right? It's a bestseller. That's why he was in California. That's why he was in Iowa. His book publishers are using the tease of running for president to get him in the media to sell the book. He's not running, and he's going to announce he's not going to. See, the Florida state legislature would have to change the law. They're in session, and before the session starts, they release their entire docket of things they're going to do. Changing that law is not on the docket. So if they were going to change the law so he could be governor and run for president, it would be pretty high profile. They would have to add it, and it would be a huge news story that they were adding it, and he'd have to sign it. It would be devastating. And I would imagine that little footage there of Kilmeade in the diner with all the Trump people if DeSantis had not already decided he wasn't running, that had to do it for him. But no, I think his announcement will be he's not running. And I know President Trump was attacking DeSantis last night in Iowa, going through his voting record in Congress. I agree with everything he said. And I know we've gone after DeSantis too here on this program. And I say we, including you callers out there. But he's probably going to end up in Trump's cabinet in the second term, because he's only going to have 2 years left as governor when Trump wins in 2024, and I think it's going to be a very anticlimactic day. There's going to be an announcement that DeSantis is making his announcement, and the media are going to show a podium filled with microphones for about 3 hours, and the bottom right of the screen, they're going to talk and talk and talk, and then Ron DeSantis is going to come out and announce that he's not running. And he might even endorse Trump at the same time, by the way. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. I don't see any other scenario. He's not going to resign being governor to run, so they'd have to change the law.
See, it's a huge opportunity there to...
Well, you know me, I don't gamble, though. I don't bet.
characteristic you have is that you're not a...
I don't gamble at all. I don't make any bets. Maybe a slot machine on the cruise. I didn't even put a dime in a slot machine on our last cruise. I walked through the casino, but I didn't stop or make any bet. I looked at the roulette wheel, but it was closed because I never, but no, I don't gamble. I don't do any kind of betting, but I'm telling you. Well, I mean, think about it. Ron DeSantis has his book out, and he's on television constantly. He has sold so many books. They said it's a bestseller, right? He's selling books like crazy. That's because he's on TV constantly. So this is not a presidential run. This is a book tour. I mean, think about it. Ron DeSantis, every decision that Ron DeSantis has made in his entire life has been the right decision. He's never made a bad decision, right? I mean, he's one of these perfect guys. Little League World Series to now. All of a sudden, he's going to make a decision that's not just a bad decision, it's a career-ending decision? I don't think so. I don't think so. So no, and he's playing along with it for the book tour. And a lot of these people, there's a lot of people that run for president that know they don't have a chance. And they run for a number of reasons. Sometimes, like Mike Pence, it's a financial racket to make money. I think he's on a book tour. He's not running. DeSantis is not running. He's on a book tour. He went to Iowa on a book tour, not a campaign stop on Friday. I'm telling you, he's not running. The press want him to run, and they keep talking about him running, but he's not running. Steve, there has not been a single poll that Trump has not been way ahead of him in. And this thing that Kill Me did at the diner, you know DeSantis saw that. He's not stupid. The only bad advice he's taken is letting people think that he's running. He's been convinced to make people think he's running, but no. When you are, Ron DeSantis he's like that perfect guy in high school and college. Never, you know what I mean? Straight A's, athlete, good looking, the Letterman, all that stuff. Those guys don't make mistakes, and he's not stupid. He's very, very smart. So he knows that his career would be over. Yeah, not only could he not beat Trump, he would be so damaged by the Republican voting base, he would no longer be electable. And he's got nowhere to go other than Washington, right? We're term limits on governors here. You get 2 terms. We already have 2 senators. So, it took a few, but I'll throw it out there again in the last. We're going to break for the Gold Report in a moment, but when we get back from the Gold Report, I'll throw this question out. Is Ron DeSantis on a book tour, or is he running for president? I think he's on a book tour. Always. The calls are always screenless on this show, Steve. All right, listen, we're going to take our break and come back with a gold report. Our number, 888-GO-CANE1. I say he's on a book tour. Let me know what you guys think. 1-888-465-2631. Is DeSantis on a book tour, or is he running for president? We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane.
All right, and William Youngerman, I've been getting calls throughout the show, and they tell me the same thing. They're waiting on you and the gold report with all the financial news that's out there. So this is the highly anticipated gold report with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca. How are the metals looking today?
Metals looking very stable after the last huge run-up between yesterday and last week. Gold gaining over $100 from its lows last week and closing yesterday up $25.80 at $1,913.90 the ounce. Of course, that all of the concerns over these bank failures and the economy. The silver gained $1.27. Been a long time since we see $1 gains in silver. $1.27 up. It closed at $21.80, while platinum was up $39, closing at $1,000. And palladium gained $102 at $1,420 the ounce. The flight to safety has been very strong with a lot of buying going on. The market this morning a little bit off from the highs, but not bad considering the move that we've had. Overnight gold trading in a range of $1,900 to $1,915 the ounce. Right now, about $1,907. That's down $6.90. Silver's down 20 cents after getting up to $22 overnight, closing right now at $21.60 the ounce, down 20 cents. Platinum down $19 at $9.81, and palladium losing $2 at $1,418. So very, very stable markets considering what's been going on. And the CPI numbers came out this morning, and they were as expected, so that didn't bring too much risk to the markets. And that's pretty much where we are so far.
Yeah, and, of course, you see bank uncertainties and everything. The metals are always a safe haven for your money. William Youngerman, we talk a lot about ounce sizes. We talk a lot about fractional sizes. Can you tell people a little bit, in both gold and silver, larger purchases that they can make? You have gold bars that can go up to some pretty big sizes.
We have gold bars from basically 1 ounce sizes, even though we have as small as we also have 5 gram gold bars, which are a nice small compact gold bar that comes carded and guaranteed, all the way up to kilo bars, 32.15 ounces of gold in one bar. So we have those sizes, and then in the silver we have sizes that range from 1 ounce to 100 ounces.
Yeah, and those kilo gold bars are very nice. I can give you firsthand experience because that's what Steve gives me every year as a Christmas bonus, or one of those kilo gold bars, and I appreciate that, Steve. That's nice. Yeah, exactly. No, but listen, this is the time. I mean, I know people are thinking about the metals who may not have thought about the metals before because of all with inflation and the bank issues that's going on. If you've never invested in the metals, if you've never bought a coin, call William Youngerman or stop in. William Youngerman and his team over there are glad to answer any questions you have and walk you through everything and explain the process and even give recommendations on what they think would be the best buys for you personally based on your situation. They open up weekdays at 10 a.m. You can stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. Online at williamyoungerman.com or give them a call. They're glad to help you over the phone as well. Toll free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I want to tell everyone about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton. Dr. Appleton's amazing. It's been about a year now since he rid me of my knee pain. It's amazing. And my knee was always bothering me. The only time I even remember I have a knee anymore is what I'm telling you guys, how Dr. Appleton rid me of pain in my knee. And his laser away pain treatment works. And not only did he rid me of my knee pain after years of suffering, it was after just 2 treatments with his laser away pain treatment. My arthritis, he rid me of my arthritis, I don't know, about 6 months ago, and that was after just 1 treatment. And both the arthritis and the knee pain, neither have returned. It's amazing. Dr. Appleton's a chiropractic physician, and he wants to rid you of your pain. And whatever kind of pain you're suffering from, give him a call. He can help, and he wants to help. He really wants. Sometimes I feel bad. I said, Dr. Appleton, I haven't talked to you in a while. He says, that's awesome, Brian. That means you're not in pain, right? He says, my patients come, and then I never see them again because I've rid them of pain. That's the way it is. And it's always walk-ins are welcome, and no appointments are ever necessary at Dr. Appleton's. He's open Monday through Saturday, and walk-ins and no appointments also apply on Saturdays, okay? You can find Dr. Appleton online at appletonchiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. He's my chiropractic physician. Stop in and do what I did. Say bye-bye to your pain. All right, I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here, and well, let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. It's Michael from California.
Hey, Michael.
So I agree with you. I think Ron DeSantis is on a book tour. He's going to risk losing the governorship to a Dem who's going to be, no question about it, a diversity hire with credentials like they always do. If he doesn't finish out his term as governor, and he needs to finish the final 2 years of his governorship, and then just get with Trump and ask him to appoint him to Secretary of State or something like that. He needs to build his national profile, which he doesn't have.
That's right.
He doesn't have name recognition like Trump does, and he has no chance of beating Biden. I think he's too young right now. And with the scare of the bank collapse in Silicon Valley yesterday, I can give you a little glimpse as to why that happened. I live about 3.5 hours from Silicon Valley, and a lot of people from the Bay Area are taking their cash out of these banks. And I'm in the process of buying my first home, and a lot of people from the Bay Area are taking their cash out of these banks and buying homes in the Central Valley where I live right now and paying all cash, like $400,000 homes, $500,000 homes, because it's a lot cheaper to live here. The Bay Area is becoming out of sight if you make 6 figures in the Bay Area, you're not surviving over there. You're floating above water.
Yeah, it's true.
This is where Trump's business acumen comes into play too, because Ron DeSantis hasn't faced a crisis like this before. He's going to ask his political junkies and things like that, and which direction the wind is blowing.
Well, you brought up an aspect of this I haven't heard anybody bring up about paying cash for these homes out there. That makes sense. And this is what people don't understand. With Donald Trump is an economist. He's an economist, and unlike Yellen and these other economists, he's actually had a job outside of government, and he's been in financial crisis. He's had problems in Atlantic City and everything, and came back and made billions more. And
he knows how to point out crises like that and restructure and allocate money elsewhere to them. He's got that business acumen to determine what's the best choice or not to save the economy.
Yeah, that's right. And what you said about DeSantis, DeSantis is very important to finish out being anyone who's resigned from being governor doesn't do too well. Sarah Palin never recovered from that. Nikki Haley's facing that too. She resigned before her second term was over. But see, DeSantis is important because we need DeSantis and his juice to endorse his successor, whoever that is, so we don't get some wokester like Andrew Gillum that we almost had. We need to preserve Ron DeSantis for his full terms so he can walk in with his chosen successor. And my favorite's Don Jr. is my pick for the next governor of Florida. Don Jr. would be great. But I think it might be? I think it might be? Matt, that's right. Matt Gaetz, I think, will likely...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I consider myself a Florida resident part-time too, because my mom grew up in Key West, and she went to school in Jacksonville, middle school in Jacksonville, and stuff like that. So we traveled back there quite a bit. We were there last April, actually, visiting family in the villages. So.
Oh yeah, and Matt Gaetz, I think, is probably the listen, he's in the House, but he's not ever going to be Speaker, and he's high profile that he's on TV. We love him in Florida, but he'd be a great governor, and he's got the juice to be the governor after DeSantis and keep things going well. Hey, appreciate the call. Great call. We have smart callers in this audience. 1-888-GO-CANE. 1-888-465-2631. And there's another thing, too, that Ron DeSantis is going to do that he's not done yet, that I've heard him promise. He's going to it's called constitutional carry, also known as open carry. He has vowed that before he leaves the governor's office, he's going to give us open carry in the state of Florida. And he has to stay in the governor's office to do that, because when he does it, it's going to immediately be challenged in the courts, and we need him as the governor to fight to maintain it. So he can't, at the end, he can't give us constitutional carry, open carry, and then resign and run for president, because the lieutenant governor, she's weak, right? She wouldn't be able to stand up to these guys and maintain it. He could. And that's a big thing with him. He has promised that on more than one occasion, and I'm really looking. If he gives us open carry, I'll carry probably quite a bit. Concealed carry is difficult in Florida because of our weather. The clothing we wear doesn't lend itself to conceal a wet. Like Helen earlier, rough winter, not in Florida. It's shorts and T-shirts every day of the year, including Christmas. And when you're living in a tropical paradise, it's hard to conceal your weapon. So if you have open carry, it's not a problem. And he's promised that more than once, and it's a big deal. And I just don't think he's running. And these jabs and everything that we're taking, it pains me to do it. I don't like doing it. Now, that doesn't mean that Fox News and Paul Ryan and Jeb and W don't want him to run. That doesn't mean that Ron DeSantis' wife doesn't want him to run. I think she wants to be first lady, and all of that. But I really, if I don't bet, as Steve would say, but if I were to bet on it, my bet would be he's not going to run. Not going to run. Steve, if he changed the law, which he would have to do to run and stay governor, the blowback from the MAGA Republican base would be so he's going to change a law so he can undermine Trump. No way that would fly. He would lose his base Republican voter support, and all these people that jump up and cheer every time he walks into a room would be standing up and booing. No, it would be a career ender for him that he would not recover. But what I told that last caller is very, very true. We need Ron DeSantis to be the sitting governor in that last year, that last 6 months, so that he can choose his successor and walk them all the way to victory. Because, listen, this is a Republican state, but not everybody in Florida is a Republican. We've had Republican governors since 1998 when Jeb became governor. And I don't know who the Democrats have that they think is credible statewide. They might try to run that idiot that doesn't know the Pledge of Allegiance down in Miami. You might have seen that on TV. But a lot of people will say, well, Republicans have been running Florida for 25 years. Maybe it's time we give the Democrats a shot. And that could happen. And we need, no, God, no. So we need DeSantis. People keep saying we need him to finish the job. Florida will be fine when he's not governor, but we need him as the sitting governor to make sure that we get another Republican after him. It's very important. That guy Charlie Crist was governor before. Okay, he was a Republican then. He could run again, Charlie Crist, and could win if there's a weakling Republican. If DeSantis runs, he loses the juice that his endorsement would have for his successor, because the average Republican voter would be so ticked off at Ron DeSantis if he was undermining Trump and running against him, his endorsement would be almost meaningless. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on it.
We're ahead for.
Well, it's important. I know Karl Rove has his little whiteboard, that he travels around with and all that stuff and does all this stuff on it. But I'm just telling you what I think, and that's what we do every day. And of course, we are here weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m. That's correct. And don't forget, you can also not just listen to us on our radio stations, but listen to this. Alexa, play True Oldies FLA. Hey Google, play True Oldies FLA. Not only can you listen to us that way all morning, you can listen to our radio station all day and all night long, and you should. And I hope you do, and support all the sponsors of our radio station and everything all day long by listening on your device. And that's how my wife listens. My wife listens on, I don't want to say the device again because I turned everybody's on, and if I say the name again, it'll turn it off. But my wife listens on our device in the mornings at home. All right. Well, listen, guys, great calls today, and I think we covered a lot of important topics and touched on a lot of things. If you're on hold, I'm sorry, we're out of time for today, but we'll be back tomorrow morning. Our number is going to be the same tomorrow as it is today, so you'll get a hold of us tomorrow. So don't lose your train of thought if you're on hold. Hopefully, what your comments were going to be will still be relevant tomorrow. I'll tell you this, tomorrow Joe Biden still won't know what day of the week it is. We don't have time. Well, I'll give myself a mental note to share with you tomorrow what I was going to share with you just now, Steve. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year, The Steve Kane Show. And, of course, Steve Kane has been with us as well. God bless America, and of course, God bless the greatest president ever who had an amazing speech last night in Iowa. God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. Take care.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media.
All right, guys, I got to run, but make sure you